The call came in just after 6 p.m., as the sun dipped behind the hills of Los Angeles. Eldad was reviewing footage from an earlier rescue. Loretta knocked on the office door, phone in hand. "It's urgent," she said, eyes wide. "The dog, possibly a German shepherd, hiding in the backyard of an abandoned house in East LA. Neighbors say he's been there for weeks." Eldad was already grabbing the rescue gear. "Let's go." Lincoln Street was quiet, eerily so. House at the end, chipped paint, broken windows, a sagging porch. Looked like it had been forgotten by time. Trash littered the yard, and weeds snaked up the fence. "He's been hiding back there," said Mrs. Ruiz, the neighbor who'd called. "Night, you can hear him crying. No one's been able to get close." They peeked through a gap in the fence. There, under a collapsed shed roof, two glowing eyes reflected the flashlight beam. "He's scared," Loretta whispered. Eldad nodded. "Let's go slow." The gate creaked as they stepped into the yard. The dog bolted deeper into the shadows, but not far. He turned and watched them, tail tucked, body trembling. "It's okay, buddy," Loretta said softly, tossing pieces of cheeseburger toward him. He sniffed the air, tempted but unsure. Eldad crouched, showing the gentle snare. "I don't want to use this unless we have to. Let's see if he'll trust us first." An hour passed. The sun was gone now, and the dog, emaciated, his coat dirty and patchy, finally edged forward, one paw and the other. Loretta reached out slowly. "Palm up." "I've got you," she whispered. And then, miraculously, he stepped close enough for her to slip the lucky leash around his neck. The moment the leash tightened, the dog panicked. He bolted, dragging Loretta a few feet. Eldad gently steadied him, whispering calming words. "You're safe now. It's okay," thrashed once more, and stopped. His body sank to the ground in surrender. Loretta knelt beside him. "You've been through so much." Named him Shadow, the way he moved like a ghost through the yard, unseen, unheard, until now. At the clinic, Shadow allowed them to lift him onto the table. He had old wounds, likely from scraping under fences, a fractured rib that had healed wrong. He was heartworm negative but severely malnourished. At maybe 2 years old, he looked much older. "It'll take time," said the vet, "but he wants to trust. That's rare in dogs who've lived this rough." In the weeks that followed, Shadow began to change. At first, he lay in the corner of his foster home, staring at walls. Then one day, he wagged his tail when Loretta entered the room. By the 3rd week, he followed her from room to room, still cautious, but curious. Just when things seemed to be improving, Shadow stopped eating. "He's shutting down again," Loretta said, heart sinking. Tests showed a hidden infection in his jaw from an old injury. Surgery was risky, necessary. "He's a fighter," Eldad said. "He made it this far." Surgery lasted 3 hours. It was over. They waited. And waited. At last, Shadow blinked up at them, groggy but alive. Loretta cried, "Going to make it." Recovery was slow, but steady. Shadow began to eat again. At first, just boiled chicken, then full meals. Started playing with toys, cautiously at first, and with joy. One day, he climbed onto the couch beside Loretta and laid his head in her lap. It was the first time he had ever asked for affection. Chapter 7. Forever Home. 2 months after the rescue, Shadow met the Bennetts, a retired couple who had lost their senior shepherd the year before. "Calm," Mrs. Bennett said, stroking Shadow's ears. "And gentle." Shadow leaned into her hand. They adopted him that day. It's been a year since the last house on Lincoln Street. Shadow now runs through grassy fields, sleeps on soft beds, and greets every guest at the door with a tail wag and a deep, warm bark. He no longer hides in shadows. He lives in the light, and all it took was one phone call. And chance.